Welcome to our post-match analysis. After the pre-match analysis, we've watched the game and it was as tense as we expected it to be with a 1-1 draw. As from our previous prediction, that was from our pre-match prediction. But though personally I had given a prediction of 3-1, yes, many opportunities created both from both teams, not converted into goals, and that would have resulted into a very many goals game like what we witnessed. That is on PSG versus Bayern Munchen. That was yesterday, but it did not end up that way. So we do a post-match analysis in this match from what we've observed, from my notes on what we've observed throughout the game, from minute 1 to minute 97, 90 plus 7 minutes extra time. We'll say that it was let me talk about the tactical view. This was a classic contrasting style. Atletico Madrid under Diego Simon stayed compact in the three formation of 5-3-2 defensive block, prioritizing structure, discipline, and quick transitions in that match, and we saw it especially in the first minutes of the second half. We saw them really doing big and playing much better than Arsenal. And for the Arsenal fans like me and you, I know our blood was boiling up so bad because we knew something can happen when those shots and those chances created. Anything could have been converted into a goal, which would have made it hard for us when it comes to when they come back on the second leg at Emirates. Arsenal under Mikel Arteta dominated possessions with a 3-2-5 attacking shape, pushing fullbacks high and controlling midfield zone. The match essentially became Arsenal controlling the ball most of the time. We saw that Atletico controlling the danger because every time they had an opportunity, they could really press on Arsenal at that goal post, making sure that they really want to score the matches. They want to score the goals to make sure that they're winning that match at home. Talk about the key match highlights in this match today was Atletico deadly transitions. Atletico's biggest threat came on the counter led by Antonio Griezmann. Quick vertical possession bypassed Arsenal's high line multiple times. One major chance came from a fast break where Griezmann split the defense but narrowly missed and was denied. And Arsenal positional dominance. Martin Odegaard controlled tempo brilliantly between the lines, but not as much as we've seen Eze do in the second half just immediately after Odegaard was substituted. Bukayo Saka consistently isolated defenders on the right flank, but not as good as he usually does because we saw him miss a lot of the chances. And sometimes at a given point, I thought, wow, Saka, you not playing like this is your first time to get yourself in the match or to play at this level. You've been playing at this level, you have that ability and that experience to do this. But it happened. Arsenal created sustained pressure, but struggled to convert dominance into clear goals. That's the biggest problem that Arsenal has always been having, and we're still having this problem. We don't know how Arteta is going to work on this in the second leg to make sure that they're converting every single opportunity that they're having because they'll be having a home advantage on that day. Goalkeeping moments, both goalkeepers were crucial. Atletico's keeper made key saves under pressure. Arsenal's keeper prevented at least one dangerous one versus one from a counter attack. All the teams had missed opportunities. We can't talk about post match analysis and not talk about missed opportunities in this match. Arsenal final third efficiency, too many touches in the box instead of a decisive finishing, and that is what we are trying to call. Can't we have a strike in Arsenal who doesn't really need to get himself into the box before scoring, that they can just go outside the box, like very many of the chances of doing that is before in 18-yard box shoots, but they're waiting until they get to the 6-yard box for them to shoot, which sometimes becomes a dangerous move when it comes to teams that have a very good defense system. So I think they really need to improve on that. Saka chance a cut inside shot that went wide or was saved. Set piece wasted. Several corners failed to trouble Atletico's defense. Biggest issue, lack of clinical finishing from Team Arsenal, and that is what Arteta need to look into. And maybe a player need to check on that and try to bring up something new for us fans to see. They are paid to do that, and we expect the best from them. We don't just expect anything from the but we expect the best from them. Atletico Madrid counter attacks, wastefulness, several there is a three by three, two by two, three versus three, two versus two situations not executed well in that match. Griezmann chance a key moment where better composure could have changed the game, but he panicked and he gave a shot which went on the bar. You saw that late game opportunity across into the box that wasn't properly attacked. Biggest issue for them is poor decision making in final transitions, and Arsenal can use that to their advantage when they come back to Emirates. That is for the second leg. Key battle moments in this match: Saka versus Atletico left wing back. Saka had moments of brilliance, but was often double marked effectively, losing the game and giving off passes. Midfield control: Odegaard versus Atletico trio. Arsenal won possession battles, but Atletico won positional duels in this defensive line versus counter attacks. We talk about Arsenal's high line was exposed multiple times, a risky but intentional strategy for Atletico Madrid. Tactical turning points for this match: we'll say that Atletico dropping deeper into the second half invited pressure, but created more counter spaces for them and for Arsenal to utilize them, but Arsenal failed to utilize that. Arsenal substitutions added energy but didn't significantly change the quality of the game. We saw them someone like easy with very good touches, very good dribbles, but not so much effective when it comes to good shoots that could have changed the nature of the game and all that. Game tempo slowed late on, favoring Atletico's defensive approach. What each team needs to improve on in the next match on the next phase. We talk about a second leg. Talk about Arsenal improve on finishing efficiency. That would be so much key for them in the second leg for them to be able to qualify for the finals. Be more cautious with the defensive transitions and add unpredictability in the first final third. As we've always said, there's always sometimes a player comes up with something that the coach doesn't understand. It's only the player and the context of the match understand. Then he does something to surprise the fans and even the coach themselves. So we need that unpredictability from the Arsenal strikers to make sure that they are doing some good finishing. Atletico Madrid sharpen counterattacks, executions, improve final pass accuracy, and take more initiative when momentum shifts. And I would say on the final verdict on this match today, Arsenal controlled the game but lacked the killer instinct in them. And Atletico Madrid defensively solid but not ruthless enough on the break. Match defined by control and efficiency, control versus efficiency, and neither side fully mastered both. And that is our post match analysis for the game. If you have something else, leave it in the comment section and tell us what you think will happen in the second leg, that is at Emirates, when Atletico Madrid visit Arsenal for the second leg of the UEFA final qualification match at Emirates. Subscribe.